Just wanted to give you a quick overview of the Masternaut satellite vehicle tracking system we use. Mitie has a fleet of 6,000 vehicles and all of them are tracked by satellite tracking. Tracking is done via a series of pings, and you'll hear me refer to them as pings or waypoints or points on the journey as we go through the presentation. As well as tracking the vehicles, we track the driver, and we do this through the insertion of a key within the vehicle. Every driver should have a key, and just so we're perfectly clear, you are not permitted to drive a vehicle without your key in. The unit should make a horrible squealing noise if you try to do that. So you must make sure that your key is in at all time. It is not permitted to drive without a vehicle. Masternaut is a tremendously powerful tool. We use it for lots and lots of things, including what I'm going to show you today, which is only a very small part of what we use it for, but it helps us run a greener, safer fleet. We can manage our emissions through it, all sorts of stuff. We also let our customers see it, so whatever we do in our vehicles is visible to our customers. That creates an awful lot of honesty and trust between us and our customers, and we all know we have nothing to hide, so we have no reason to prevent our customers from seeing what our vehicles do on their sites. And the last issue is one of managing performance. We don't sit and watch Masternaut all day looking for people to do something wrong, but it would be wrong of me to say we have never and will never use it in some performance management issues. So it is a tool we can use to help us run our business efficiently, and within that we can use it to help us manage individual issues of performance. I thought it would be useful if we took a look at Masternaut in action. It's a satellite vehicle tracking system that we use on all of our vehicles, on all of our subcontractors' vehicles, and what it does primarily is it makes sure that everyone is safe, and it also provides us with a whole load of management information that we can use to help us run our business. So if we look at the screen we've got ahead of it, it's a list of all the vehicles. I'll just whiz up and down so you can see how many vehicles we've got involved. All of these hundreds and hundreds of vehicles are all tracked. The different colours mean that they're doing different things. So the blue ones are moving and the green ones are parked up and the amber ones are straight, etc., etc. But what we've got here is a situation where we know the name of the driver, and we know the registration number of the vehicle, and we know the place that they currently are. If that place is a site or is one of our home locations, one of your home locations, then it will appear in bold. So at any point in time we know exactly where everyone is, and the speed they're going, and the road they're travelling on, and who's driving, apart from this case here where we have someone that says no key. Someone is in that vehicle and they haven't put their key into the Masternaut tracking unit. So whilst we know where the vehicle is and what it's doing, we don't necessarily know who the driver is at this point. So that looks at the list of vehicles we've got. Let's have a look at the same vehicles, but this time on a map, because that's far more interesting. There's our vehicles all appeared, so we know exactly where everyone is, and we can see the colour that the different journey types they're doing based on the colour of the vehicle. And if we zoom in a bit, we can look at an individual vehicle and see where that individual vehicle is. We can interrogate what that vehicle's doing, so we can find out who's driving it, at the current speed that it's going, where its journey history, where it's been today. Let's have a look at that a bit later, and we can find out exactly where everyone is. We can also view our contacts or contracts, so where all our customers are. So if I turn that on, we can now see that all of our customers will appear as a little house on the map, and we can see where the nearest vehicle is to that customer, etc., etc. So it's a very, very powerful system. I've changed the view, so we're looking at a satellite view rather than a map view, because I think if we zoom in, I'm going to choose this vehicle here. If we zoom in to look at the vehicle, we can actually get to some pretty fine level of detail, and we can see that this vehicle is driving along the A52. We can see the speed that it's going, which is 43, and he's doing 43 in a 60 limit, so that's really good. We've got a driver who's obeying the speed limit, and that's exactly what we want to see. We can also interrogate his history, so where has he been today? So I shall click on this journey history and we'll find a list of where he's been today. What will pan out before us is his journey history, which is marked out by these points, and we can even interrogate each one of those points on his journey. I'll zoom in a little bit again so we can get a better view, and we can interrogate what time he was there, what speed he was doing, and again, very good, this chap is staying within the speed limit, so he's doing 65 in a 70. He's driven 22.6 miles since he started that journey, and this point on the map represents a ping that was collected at 14:08. We've also got at the bottom some written information that supports what's on the map, and we can see, can you remember I said that things were bold if they were our customers? Well, these represent our customers, so we can see when he's arrived on our customer's site, and what time he arrived, how long he stayed there, and what time he left. So we're starting to drill down into individual pieces of information, all of which is incredibly powerful when we have to do things like defend insurance claims or review the incidents around an accident or whatever. We can really drill down into that information to get to the absolute point in time where the incident happened. I've zoomed in a little bit more and I've picked up on this particular instance. You can see there that the boundary of this property is in a blue line, and the whole property is a see-through blue colour. What that is it represents one of our customers and the boundary of one of our customers' properties. As it happens, this one is Norwich and Peterborough Building Society, site number 13493. There's its address, which is in Peterborough, PE26WZ. It's in NAN, and its manager is Danny Munro. So all of that information we've got stored on there. Within the confines of the property, we can also see the journey has created a number of pings. So if we zoom in a little bit more, we can see where the vehicle was on the property. So we can see it was probably parked in this space over here, and we can see that visit took place at 10:05 and 57 seconds. We can see who made the journey and what time it finished, etc. So if we just gradually zoom out, we'll see that journey continues on through the day, and that journey also takes in a number of other properties along the way. So we can see all of our customers and all of our vehicles and all of our journeys and all of our visits as we progress through the day. I've just chosen another driver and switched to a different view. This is a map view rather than an aerial view. And the grey line represents the journey that's been done by that vehicle today. I've hidden the driver's name because I'm sure he's possibly even sat in the room next to you at the moment, so we won't embarrass him. What we've done is turned on something called show speeding. What that does is it creates a different colour in those journey points. So this vehicle has gone out and it's done its journey, which is represented by the grey line, and he's been very well behaved until he got to this point where he did 31 in a 30. So that's perhaps needs to reel it back just a little bit. And he's appeared as an amber point on the map, and then we've got this where he's done 35 in a 30, so the red ones are significantly over the speed limit. So this is very good at showing us where we have instances of speeding. Now at the beginning I showed you that there were hundreds and hundreds of vehicles, and I'm not going to pretend that we sit and watch all of these vehicles all day every day, but we do have what we call exception reporting. I've changed the view again so we can talk about some exception reporting. There are things that we expect our vehicles to do naturally. We expect them to drive around, we expect them to drive within the speed limit, we expect them to stop at certain times of the day and start at certain times of the day. Our exception reporting means that Masternaut will tell us when things are the exception. So I'll give you a couple of examples. A speeding report is sent every day to all managers. A no key report, so someone who's not putting their key into the Masternaut tracking unit, a report of those who don't put the key in is sent every day. And for those that are involved in gritting, if you're driving your vehicle after 6 p.m. and before 6 a.m., so overnight, and your vehicle stops moving for more than a few minutes, and your vehicle isn't at your home location, then it will send an email to alert the control room that you are potentially in trouble. And I can't emphasize enough that you must always have your mobile phone with you when you're driving. If the control room spots that you're not moving, they will instantly think that you're in trouble. That is, if you're gritting overnight, they will think that you're in trouble and they will try and contact you. You can reassure them that you're not in trouble and you can get on with the rest of your gritting round. If they cannot get hold of you, there's an escalation process, which means the police may turn up. So if you're gritting at night and you're out in your vehicle and you've stopped moving for a given number of minutes, then someone's going to think you're in trouble. It's really, really important that you answer that mobile phone, because your vehicle will be stationary. You answer that mobile phone and tell them that you're not in trouble, because the end result of that is the police will come and will be looking for one of our drivers who's in desperate trouble. It's designed to keep you safe, but it is quite a strict process, so be very, very aware. Once your vehicle's at home, it's fine. When your vehicle's not at home and you've stopped moving, someone's going to get an email that says you're potentially in trouble. While we're talking about gritting, I think it's probably worth that we look at an actual gritting visit and what happens during it. I've zoomed into one particular customer. The one I've chosen here is Griffin House, Vauxhall, down in Luton. Here are those points on the journey which we've seen before, but we see these other cogs here which are flashing red and green. They're actually the gritting hopper being turned on and off. So not only can we see, if we interrogate one of these waypoints, what time and speed the vehicle was there and who was driving it, we can also find out exactly what time the gritter was turned on. So there we are at 1925, the gritter was turned on at that property. So it's very, very detailed, and don't forget our customers can see all of this as well. So make sure what you do is correct, and you're covering all of the site, because our customers will see that and they will have issue if we're not doing the job properly for them. And one of the most important things is on your PDA you have a start and or arrive and a finish button. You must press the arrive button when you arrive and the finish button when you're finished. If the information you give us back through the PDA doesn't match the information we've got through Masternaut, there is a risk that you might not get paid for what you've done, or at the very least it might delay the payment. So don't forget, put your key in. Make sure you press arrive and finish at the correct time. Obey the speed limit. Wash behind your ears. All the usual namby-pamby stuff. But this is a tremendously powerful management tool. We don't use it to spy on you, but it does give us lots and lots of really, really useful information that help us run our business and help keep you lot safe. Hope you found that useful exercise. You can now see into the world of satellite tracking. I think the last word will be on one of safety, that whilst we have a lot of tools that help us to keep you safe as you go about your working day, the person we rely on most to keep you safe is you. So just remember, whatever you do, work safe and get home safe.